Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt, man! All right! Episode 236 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Ashley from Windmill City in California! Shirt show!
Are you handsome devil? Say something so I can hear you. I can't hear anything. Hold on.
I'm just kidding. I'm here. Hey, beautiful.
Oh, you fucker. I was like, what is going on?
Nope. It's all good.
You're looking fine. Is that a new sweater?
It is. Guess what the material is? I mean,
Cashmere.
yes. Fuck yeah, it is. You know it.
I know you don't put your body on anything else.
It's a hoodie more than a sweater. It's kind of a cashmere hoodie. Yeah, I'll take it.
Good man.
Feels good. Is that a new hoodie you have?
It is. Target.
Cashmere?
Cashmere. Pure cashmere.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
How are things going up there?
Good. Snow ridden, cold as fuck. Went and watched my daughter's chorus concert last night. That was pretty funny. You ever like watch your kids at a school thing and you're like, that's my kid, like not paying attention, staring off, doing other things. I'm like, that's my girl.
Well, come on. I hated that sort of shit when I was a kid. And you have to like, it was miserable. Let's sing this Christmas stuff, in front of all the parents. It's not that fun. I get it.
She definitely does it just to hang out with her friends. It's just funny too, because like my mom went with me last night and she got her flowers and stuff. And she was like, oh, I remember watching you at chorus. I was like, in all honesty, I don't remember anything about chorus at all, other than the day I quit. Like I can literally in my mind picture skipping down the stairs from the music room after I quit. Because I remember the music teacher was like, are you sure this is something you want to do? Like, I will accept that you want to do this, but like, take your time walking down the stairs and you can come back and tell me like you made a mistake. And I remember I left there and I literally like skipped steps. You skip steps going up, like you're like every 2 steps. I did that going down. I was like, no, I'm fucking out of here.
The only time, because I was in choir too, and not in high school, but in junior high. And the only time I regretted not being or continuing on in choir was when I saw the movie, help me out. What's the movie where they sing and the Bellas versus the whatever? It's a competition thing. It's really good, actually. Come on, Dylan.
It's not on my top 10.
You know every movie. Well, I mean, maybe it's not the top 10, but it's, and there was another one. They made a 2 and a 3, of course.
You're making me think of like Step Up or whatever, but those are
close.
Like dance movies.
No, that's close. Hold on.
Is it High School Musical?
No. Hold on. What's the choir movie? Pitch Perfect. There you go. Duh.
Yeah, it's not. I've never seen it.
Bullshit. You've seen it. The first one.
No.
And the second one actually is pretty good too. So this is what you're going to have to, and especially since your daughter loves being in the choir, it sounds like. This weekend, watch Pitch Perfect 1 and 2. You'll love it.
Probably going to go see Wicked this weekend.
It's funny.
I'm not excited for it, but
well, I think that's a musical though too, right?
Is that one that Adam Devine is in? From
we're talking about Pitch Perfect. Yes, Adam Devine is in that. Yeah. We're talking about 2 different things right now, I think, but that's okay.
Did you ever hear this story? I don't know how real it is, but he was saying that he had an audition for Pitch Perfect, and his agent sent him to, and he thought it was a baseball movie.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then he got there and they were like, oh, you have to sing a song. And then he was like, I have no songs. I'm not ready. I have no idea what this is. And they were like, make something up. And then he just like, I think he sang like a jingle for like a burger place or something. And they were like, you got it. You're hired.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was a good movie. You should watch it.
Okay.
You know how I'm always on the treadmill?
Yeah.
In fact, oh my gosh, I sent you that a screen or a picture of my time or whatever. and it
Yep.
was 100 and something minutes. I had been on it 100 and something minutes.
I was kind of sad about that picture, to be honest.
Why?
I was hoping like the reflection in the thing was going to be you, like sweaty and
Oh,
shirtless, and wasn't.
um, no, I'll send that one tonight. I'll
Okay.
send that one tonight.
All right, good.
But yeah, like I'm walking off uh all of my problems, and it
Yeah,
worked.
it works.
Like
It definitely
I'm
works.
I'm not just walking off my, what would you call, calories. I'm walking off my problems at the same time. It's like
You can
dual
literally walk
purpose.
away from your feelings.
On a treadmill, not as much, no. But I actually, because you're kind of stuck in the same place. But yes, metaphorically, yeah, you can. You
Yeah.
can walk off all of those feelings, and I have been. And so I walk at crazy times too. Like it'll be midnight. Who knows? I don't care. I go down there. It's beautiful. There's no one
Feels
there,
glorious.
especially.
Yeah.
And I jump on the treadmill and I start walking, and I hardly ever stop. Sort of like Forrest Gump. I just once I hit the
Do
other.
you watch something on your phone or the TV, or are you just listening to music or podcasts? What are you doing?
There's no TV. I do a couple of things because I'm on there for so long. One, I listen to music. That's just something, obviously, and then I journal while I'm doing that. And so I have it. It's called Thoughts from the Treadmill. I was going to call it Treadmill Thoughts, but that's just maybe that's better.
Mhm.
But because when I say treadmill thoughts, it's sort of like, hey, these are thoughts about
About a
treadmills.
treadmill. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I was like thoughts from a treadmill. That's maybe more descriptive. And that's what I told my therapist this morning, is that I have a whole series coming out, Thoughts from a Treadmill, because I solve a lot of the world's problems around 11 o'clock at night on a treadmill after minute 100. And also solve a lot of my problems. And so I thought I would start sharing some of that stuff. What else I do is I practice Spanish on the treadmill.
Yeah. How's that going? We talked about that an episode or two ago, that you're super, you're a Spaniard now.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a beautiful language. It makes more sense in a lot of ways. I like it. And so I'm getting better. I'm on day 19 of a streak on Duolingo.
You could say anything right now, and I'd be like, "Yeah,
Um,
you're doing great." Like I have no idea
do
what
you
you're
know
saying.
what? We should probably get a sponsorship from Duolingo. I might message them and say, look, this is you guys really should. Have you heard of the shirt show? Come on.
And we'll just do half the episode in another language.
That'd be fun. Yeah. You know?
Okay.
Okay.
How's it going?
Well, it's great. Gosh, really, to be honest, I'm not here as much as I was, just a few months ago. But isn't that the goal anyway? And so I think that the answer then to that question is the Kong is better than ever. It's running really well, and it's maybe because I'm gone.
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a longer, deeper conversation, but I had a good talk with some people about that this week, actually, because that's kind of a struggle that I'm going through myself. So,
Yeah.
maybe we can save that as a whole topic for another episode, but it's a deep one.
What you mean as far as being present at the shop versus not?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Sure.
it's just a struggle. Like it's good and bad. Like it has its perks. Like I was talking to
Mm.
Justin Lawrence about it, and I was talking to Tyler about it, and I mean, we're all kind of, even you, are all in the same boat of like, we had got our companies to a certain point where it can basically run itself. But like, do we like that it runs itself? Do we like being more involved? Like, that's
Hmm.
where I'm kind of at this like weird crossroads of what do I actually want for myself?
Does it, are you having an existential crisis?
No,
Okay, good. Because I was going to fly up there tomorrow.
no, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm just saying that like business wise, like how involved do I need to be, or how involved should I be for my own sanity?
I So knowing you as well as I do, I think that you're in the sweet spot, right where you want to be, because you could
That's
do a
pretty
little
much what
bit of
Justin
both.
said. He's like
Really?
he's like you're literally, and the same for him.
Hmm.
He's like I get involved as much as I want to. And then when I feel overwhelmed or burn out, I back off and it keeps running. It does its thing. Because basically what we said, I guess we're talking about this anyway, but basically what was said is the place runs itself. But the problem is that by running itself, it kind of goes on autopilot. It might not necessarily come up with new things or innovate or have new marketing strategies or whatever. It just kind of runs like it. Jobs come in, jobs go out. Everyone here is doing their job, doing what they're supposed to be doing, but there's no like creative mind that started the company that's like, oh, I want to do this now, or I want to add this division, or I want to get into this, or try this new print technique, other than maybe somebody there getting a hair up their ass. But I think for the most part, it kind of just runs. But what I want to do is I want to do projects. Like I want to be like, all right, we're gonna add an embroidery department, or we're gonna get into this type of ink that we learned about, or try this other new thing. So
So check this out. Check this out. I was listening to you. I was to every word. And there's one word I heard, and that was you said, the person that is creative and the person that started the company, but that I don't think those necessarily have to be the same thing. And so I
no,
chat GPT'd or Googled, which is the same thing as AI these days, what an operations manager job description is. And are you ready? Can I read it real quick? Just a couple sentences.
mhm.
Here we go. An operations manager is responsible for overseeing a business's operations to increase profitability and efficiency. They monitor production and supply chains, identify areas for improvement, and implement strategies to make operations more efficient. So I think you just described the role of an ops manager, and that does not have to be you.
Yeah, I know none of this has to be me, but it's part of my identity, and it's also part of like I actually love doing this. So when I can step back and be like, oh, I'm gonna go to Florida for a couple weeks and I'm gonna go do this thing and I'm gonna travel here and I'm gonna whatever, and I'm not necessarily at the shop all the time, I feel like it's a double-edged sword where I feel like I'm relaxing and I'm doing some things outside of work that I want to do and I'm having a life and all this other stuff. But also like the creative part of me isn't getting any love. Like the human being of me, like needing to relax and all this other stuff, is getting love, but itching the scratch of building something, creating something, doing this project isn't. So that's the problem, is like, do I create a different business that's a side hustle? Do I add, like I said, adding embroidery, in my opinion, like part of my like thoughts on wanting to add embroidery is just like, here's a whole new thing from scratch I can learn myself. Because people here are like, who's going to run it, whatever. And I'm kind of like, me. Like, I want to fuck around with it. Like, I want to learn the machines. I want to do them and buy them and figure this whole process out. And then that's my creative itch for the next however long.
Well, so that's the first time you've ever framed it like that. And so I will give you permission to buy an embroidery company or start
Yeah,
embroidery.
thanks.
But before I was anti-embroidery, not because I don't like embroidery, I do.
No, because it's a
Um,
business thing that I'm
mhm.
just like, oh, I'll buy this and it'll just be here. Like, that's a totally different thing. And I get your point on that. And that's why right now we're fine. Like, we have a place to outsource to, everything's working,
Mhm.
everything's good. Like, I could keep doing that. But I'm
Mhm.
looking at it now as like, fuck it, why not? Like, it's a project that I
Mhm.
can dip my toes into.
Well, after you do dip your toes and a year goes by, call me and I'll just say, I told you so. All right,
Right.
next. Here we go.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And that's okay. We all have to learn, don't we? Sometimes, it's like with your kids, you're like, hey,
Right. I have to touch the stove.
yeah, don't touch the stove. And then,
Right.
yeah, you've got to just figure out that that's probably a bad idea. It's just the way it is sometimes. And that's okay. It's okay. It's part of life,
Mm.
you know?
Okay.
Um, I love you, by the way.
Love you too.
I think you're doing great. You look great. I love the hoodie. I have a Target hoodie exactly like that.
You
Only it's not that
you
color.
inspired me to buy this one.
And I
We were hanging
honestly,
out at we were hanging out at one point and I asked you about your hoodie and you're like, "Oh, it's from Target." And then like 2 weeks later, while I was at Target with my kids, I was like, oh, I want to look for this like plain hoodie that Andy had.
Mm.
And I bought a black one and I bought a gray one. And this
Yeah,
is a gray
okay.
one.
And the reason why I love it is because it's thick as shit. Like when it's not like you can hardly even stretch it. It's like a thick,
Yeah,
thick,
it's pretty good.
thick hoodie. Yeah, it's a pretty good hoodie. I don't, which is a shame because you think we would be able to buy one in our line of work. We do.
I just have such a
We
weird
do have.
body shape that it's so hard for me to find something that works. So when I find something that works, I don't care what brand it is. If it fits me good, I'll get it.
Let's not have body dysmorphia and talk bad or
Not
wrong
body
about our body.
dysmorphia. I just
Let's
have
just
a
talk.
long ass torso.
Okay, well, it's just okay there. Don't say weird. Don't include the word weird. Just say, hey, I have a long ass torso, and so I like certain hoodies. Don't say it's
Okay.
weird because
Okay.
I think that just invokes
I look
negative
like Humpty
feeling.
Dumpty and I need a hoodie that fits me correctly.
Humpty Dumpty is a human, and Humpty Dumpty looked great, I thought.
He's an egg.
That's right. But it's a human egg.
Sure. Creepy ass human egg.
Ah, that's so good. It just warms my heart.
Okay, good.
It all starts with the screen, and whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF,
Rank.com.
or,
Greatfuckingscreens.com.
all right, so look, cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Check them out at easyway.com, EasyWay.
It's the easiest way, baby.
Look, GraphX is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. We use them every single day. They can help any size shop. If you want to learn more, what you need to do is go to graphxsource.com or 1-900.
Hotstuff.com.
Yeah, that's right. Choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated, and that's why we love Chromaline. Go to chromaline.com to watch Kev's vids or contact him on Instagram at the Emulsion Guru and get the answers you want and the answers you want
More.
even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
They got them.
that's gold right there. Yeah.
SNS has been our go-to apparel source since day one. Discover an extensive range of apparel that blends innovative design with unbeatable comfort. Their customer service and quality control are the best out there. Check them out at ssactivewear.com. The weathered hues of comfort colors are inspired by nature, so it makes sense that their dye process would be made with respect for it too. The Pigment Pure process produces earth-friendly colors by using 1/3 less water, taking 40% less process time, consuming less energy, and requiring zero salt. Also, it's my favorite fucking shirt. The Comfort Color 1717. It fits my weird Humpty Dumpty body.
Don't say weird. Start over. Say it again. Let me hear it.
It fits my long torsoed Humpty Dumpty weird body.
Nope, not until you get rid of the weird.
It fits my perfect manly body.
Yes. There you go. That's what I like hearing.
ScreenPrintGPT.com. Not only is it an extremely smart machine that helps us troubleshoot all things print, but this site also has a ton of really awesome tools on it, including a pricing calculator, embroidery stitch calculator, packing slip maker, and ink consumption calculator. It's all free. Go check it out. ScreenPrintGPT.com.
My guy, who do we have today?
Today, Andy, my guy, we have Ashley Coy from Windmill City, which you got to visit once.
More than once. Many times. You can see right there.
What
Yeah,
the
the palm
hell is
trees and
this?
everything.
Where are you right now?
Welcome. I'm in my kitchen.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. We have a little oasis behind us. So,
Is that like a backyard, front yard? What is that?
yeah, it's our side yard.
Oh, I was wrong. So how's things? How's work life right now?
Good. It's pretty busy. The print shop's busy. We have some big clients that are in the peak of season right now, and our retail store, just dealt with the whole Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday rush, and yeah, things are just humming along. never really seem to let up.
How does that retail stuff go with the Black Friday? Is that insane for you guys, or is that just kind of like, a little bit better than normal time?
Yeah, we actually chose not to participate as far as having a sale goes, but we did sell a lot more than typical because we're based in a tourist town, Palm Springs. We just have so many more visitors and a lot more foot traffic, so our numbers are way up.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
do you do anything else that kind of drives it in for the rest of the year, or do you get to like chill now, basically?
No, this is kind of the start of season for us here in the desert. It dies down from May through October, November, and then the weather starts to cool and people start visiting, and that's when we get busy as far as retail sales go. And most of our print shop clients are retail related as well, and we have a lot in the area, so they're starting to get pretty busy as well.
So I heard you say that you didn't participate in the sale part of Black Friday. Yeah, you were open Black Friday and you want to, I don't know, incentivize people to shop at your store. But why? Can you talk about why you didn't put anything on sale or offer any sort of sale?
Yeah, we are a small business and we work with primarily small businesses as well. 70% of our store is stuff that we produce ourselves, and the other 30% is small businesses, local brands, and California based brands. We decided not to discount our sales just because we didn't feel that we needed to. If people wanted to buy something, they would buy it. And for us, this year in Palm Springs especially, sales have been down in general for retail. And we just didn't feel that we needed to discount what we were offering.
Well, most of that stuff's like fake anyway, right? Like I saw I think it was a YouTube video talking about the math behind that. Like what Amazon does is they kind of like
Mm,
gradually raise the prices like pretty high, like 2 months before Black Friday. And then right when you get to Black Friday, it drops down to what its original price was like 2.5 months ago, so that you feel
mm.
like you're getting the deal.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of how we saw it too. You know, if corporations want to reduce their prices uh, in a false way, go for it. But
Right.
our prices pretty much remain the same all year round.
Yeah. It's probably
I
a good
love
way to
that.
like phrase that to people and be like, hey, this is just like we're here, we're available, and we're not gonna cheat you or lie to you or manipulate you, and
Yeah,
you still have awesome stuff, so come by it.
One of my favorite
and
ways that we're lied to is like the bag of chips, because the bag has always
Bag's
stayed the
huge and it's got
same.
like half the amount of chips in it.
But yeah, you open it
yeah,
and it's mostly air. And you're like, oh, same size bag.
yeah, exactly.
I saw this thing the other day and I had made a note that I want to talk to you guys about it, but I don't I there's a website, it's like an AI tool. I don't know if you guys saw this, and I don't know, Ashley, maybe because you're in retail, but there's this thing now where like say me, we were talking about weird bodies earlier, so I'll use me as an example. I could like have a clothing line and put a shirt on and stand up against the wall and have a picture taken of me in my shirt. And you go to this website, it's like Botica or Botica or something is what it's called. It's like Botika.io. And basically you put it in there. I think you pay like a monthly subscription to it or whatever. And the AI will take that shirt that you're wearing and put it on like a hot model in like a background setting that's like a city or a tropical thing or anything you want it to be. Like it will literally alter your basically ugly model you have into like a beautiful model in a nice background.
Mm.
Pretty wild.
So I was just thinking like, I had the like T Club stuff I was doing, and like half the problem I had was like, oh, I never have like a lot of like good shots of people wearing or whatever. And I mean, part of it is like, oh, this is cool because I don't necessarily have to. I can just take a couple pictures of my mom in a shirt or something and be like, all right, well, I can drop it into here and it's going to give me a bunch of different models and a bunch of different scenarios, and I can post those. It is the shirt, like it's, whatever angle or the print on the shirt or whatever, but now it's on
Mm.
a
Dylan,
handy looking sexy
I don't like
model.
I don't like that you used your mother as the example after you were talking so terrible about the models. But so like I say, I would just like to see. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that sounds pretty great, though. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. You can do about anything with AI these days, right? So, deep fake stuff.
What do you
Weird.
guys do actually for the like? How do you guys market? Is it just because you're in the touristy town, or are you actually like promoting things?
We do a bit of both. I would say like 90% of our sales though are just from foot traffic or word of mouth. We do take photographs and have an online store as well. Thankfully, our retail manager is a pretty talented photographer, and we generally don't do modeled shots. We just do like
Product shots.
hanging T-shirts or product shots.
Mhm.
We do have some partnerships that we do where we will have like models in shots, and we try to get a like diverse body set in that. But yeah, for the most part, because we are in a tourist town and our shop is essentially an elevated souvenir store, we don't do a ton of advertising. And also, as much as we'd like to put more, to have a lot of energy put into the store, it often funnels into the print shop.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
is that what you want?
Well, the print shop makes us a lot more money, so.
Right. Well, that's kind of something that we wanted to talk to you about today because we had you guys on before, but it was very focused about the shop. But we kind of wanted to just talk to you because you got me thinking about you guys because of the tote bags that you had sent, which we can get into later. But I more want to hear the story of you had a kind of a career before getting involved. Can you give a background on why and how you got involved with Windmill?
Yeah, Windmill City started about 10 years ago. Well, just over 10 years ago by Glenn. And then inadvertently, as his wife, I had become somewhat involved. But I myself was working in hospitality. I was working for Ace Hotel, kind of a popular boutique chain. And I started off in marketing and events, the forward facing events. So booking bands and DJs and craft beer festivals and all those kinds of fun things that the public gets to enjoy. And then I was managing all their digital content as well. And that evolved into project management. So I oversaw the hotel in Palm Springs renovations. They had a multi-million-dollar renovation on the hotel rooms, restaurant, spa, and I became the site contact for that, working with the contractors and then our corporate design team, and then all of their partners. We work a lot with artists, artisans, and designers from outside of the company as well. So that's kind of what I was doing. And then that the hospitality industry is pretty brutal. They suck away a lot of your hours, and I was just, a workaholic. I did a
I
bit
mean,
of
I
traveling.
do really like Ace hotels though. Like I've stayed in a few of them.
Yeah,
They're like super nice.
yeah, they're wonderful. We still go and visit them when we're in an area that has them. We went and stayed in one in Kyoto recently, and it was probably my favorite hotel ever. Yeah.
It's usually my go-to in New York City, and then
Mhm.
we stayed in the one. It's not there anymore, I guess, but that's where Print Hustlers was that one year. Was at an Ace hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. Glenn went to that. I didn't manage to go to that one, but I did go to another Print Hustlers in Chicago, which made me fall in love with the city and also, you know, got involved with the industry. I think I was like 7 months into working at Windmill City and, got a taste for it all. But
Bring you in.
yeah,
So
so
why leave that setting? Seemed like you were doing really well, other than you kind of led into it
yeah.
was sucking away your life.
Well, I got the opportunity to go help open a hotel in New York City. It wasn't an Ace, it was a branch of Ace. It was called Sister City. It was a beautiful hotel. I worked there for almost a month, uh, finalizing everything in the construction, not the construction, but all the finishings and whatnot before opening. I was working super long days, and it just made me evaluate, like, is this something I want to continue to do? Because that's the way I would progress in the company is by, helping open new hotels, doing projects such as that, working, 10, 12 plus hour days, on go with no foreseeable like end to it.
Yeah.
And while I was over there, I was by myself, so I had a lot of time to think. And I decided, I don't think this is what I want to do. A month prior to that, I had gone with Glenn to the Long Beach trade show, and we had listened to, I think, Shirt Show, and we were just listening. And I just kind of, started thinking a lot about his business and what maybe could be improved upon. And we didn't really discuss me like leaving my job or anything, but it was something in the back of my head. And when I decided, I don't think this hospitality thing is for me right now, I can always go back to it. I left, and Glenn and I decided like, oh, I'd come to Windmill City for a bit to organize and structure the business internally, because he was kind of flying by the seat of his pants. He was growing it, but there was no structure to it. And so I quit. I took 3 weeks off, and then I joined Windmill City.
That's super exciting, as the shop owner like I am, when I have somebody like that's very talented, like Christina's like that, where she's super smart in things that I'm not necessarily smart in, and like the technology and setting things up, where I can use her expertise in my business. Like I'll ask her advice and she'll kind of give me what she thinks and how it fits into what she does. But like the same with like you and Glenn is, it's like you had a lot going on to market and do all the things that basically he needed for Windmill. Do you kind of just be like, all right, it's fucking like go time now, and we're going to take everything I've learned in this career to, pump up Windmill?
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as I started, we implemented Printavo. We implemented a lot of spreadsheets, started creating SOPs, and just kind of identifying everybody's roles within the business, which was also important because, there didn't need to be crossover between Glenn and I. We both wanted to focus on what we wanted to grow within the business. And I think that's why ultimately we've thrived. We've taken on different skill sets that have helped the company grow. It was a slow burn at first. I think it took about 6 months before we saw any of the work that I had put into the business take off. But once it started to kind of roll, it just never really stopped, and we've grown immensely since then.
That sounds really familiar. I think it's common for shops to grow in that manner. We start, some of us even in a garage, and of course we don't have SOPs or procedures or all these kind of things, defined roles or data or spreadsheets or anything. We're just barely hanging on, and we're answering the phone while we're printing a lot of times, and trying to saying, okay, yeah, I'll get you a quote. And so you're somehow trying to get them a quote back so that you can, have a job tomorrow. And so you're trying to do so many different things. And then somebody comes along and there's like, hey, I'm going to handle some of this for you. And that's like, I think what Dylan was
That's just, it's like, oh, dude, thank God.
Right. Yeah. It's like the best, because it's sort of like, it's great to be busy and it's great to be wearing all those hats, but I think that you can't be a 10 out of 10 on, everything if you're trying to do too much. And so, and also, you're stressing yourself out, and it's just not sustainable. You're going to burn out eventually. It's very hard. I did it for too long. So, my question though was, you were talking about the hospitality business, and I always have thought, like, are we as screen print shop owners, are we in the hospitality business? And if not, should we be thinking about it in those terms, because we have, especially with our customer, our clientele, we have to be, I think customer service is the most important thing, and we happen to screen print. And so if I think of it like that, then I know that customer will talk about us and say good things, and more jobs will come our way. And also they'll stick around. And so should we be thinking about it like that? And if so, well, then you have a background in this. Like, you know exactly how to, I guess, implement that sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I believe that we've thrived in our area because we have such a strong customer service and front of house at Windmill City. One of the reasons Windmill City started was because there was a void that we found in the market. Glenn had a retail store before and had worked with a lot of local printers, and they just didn't provide the service that one would hope for, either quality wise or customer service wise. So we kind of took that upon ourselves and have created a service that nobody else is offering here. I'm sure you can get it elsewhere, but people are continuously coming back to us and referring us, mainly because they've enjoyed working with us and because we're so responsive and helpful, and we do a lot of hand holding. But that's why people work with us and pay a little extra versus ordering online.
I 100% agree with that. And I think that I'm finding out more and more that customer service and the hospitality, like Andy's saying, is almost the most important part of it, because there's so many companies that, like, even now with outbound and me trying to go focus on like getting like bigger clients and all this other stuff, I'm finding out more and more that relationship power between the buyer and whoever they've been using, if they're their buddy or they just take really good care of them, is more important than anything else. Like, it's almost more important than price in some cases. It's more important than quality more often than not. Like, I've seen places where I walk in and I look at the shirts or whatever and I'm like, we could crush this quality wise. And then you go talk to them and you're like, your talking point is like, oh, I can give you a better product. They don't give a fuck at all. They're like, nope, I've been dealing with Susan for 20 years and she's amazing and whatever. Like, they just don't care. Like, they just want somebody, like you said, who's going to handhold and be like, hey, I'm going to take care of all of this for you, and it's working. And that's the important part. So I think more and more I'm realizing that it's like we just need to double down on, like, the speed to getting back to the customer, the hand holding, the, like, how can we make the experience better for the customer rather than just being like, we print shirts, you'll have them in 3 days. Like, I want to more make it like they're happy to work with us and we're buddies than we are just random clients.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. We've become close with a lot of our clients over the years. We go to their barbecues and kids' birthday parties. And so I think that really helps. Also, to our advantage is being, a big fish in a small pond. So living in a smaller community, like you said, some people are very married to whoever they're working with. But once they get to know you, or that person is out of the picture, you can build a relationship and then you become that go-to person.
I think that if you're going to their child's birthday party, it's very difficult for them to switch screen printers.
Right. Right. What you were speaking to is exactly what we said about our own selves as customers of SNS last week, because we were saying that, look, we will buy blanks from SNS and are willing to pay more for those blanks for the service that they provide. And so as customers, we're doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that we're just talking about.
Yeah. Same with our company. SNS has treated us so well. Definitely feel the same way. Even if it's a little less expensive to go somewhere else, we generally go towards SNS.
I think that's one of those things too, is like, I find myself doing this all the time when I'm making a decision on like how we should change or pivot into something, is like, I have to step back and get out of like work mind and like be like, what would I actually do in this scenario? Kind of like Andy just said, like, we just talked about this with SNS and we were saying what we would personally do is we would stick with this. And it's like, we need to step back and be like, well, if almost like undercover boss or something, where it's like,
yeah,
if I call here, how do they treat me? and how to, what would I want them to do if I walked in today and said I want to place an order for shirts? Would I want them to be like, well, let me just take down your information and I'll like figure some stuff out and I'll get back to you? Or would I want them to be like, hey, come on in here and like sit down in like a comfortable room with like stuff behind them that they can touch and feel and check out and go through the whole process right then and there. Like, as I mean, some shops it's like you walk to the door and it's like appointment only, don't talk to us. Like, we'll figure this out. You know what I mean? Like that, like how would
We're kind of that way.
when you got there?
We are by appointment only. We don't really like walk-ups because we're such a small team, but we'll let them come into the showroom and chat with them a little bit and try to get a feel for what they're after and then follow up and try to schedule a time.
Right. And I'm not trying to knock it by appointment only. I'm just saying that like that's the first thing that they see. Like, how are you treating them after that? You know what I mean? If they do make an appointment, you're like, oh, hey, like I wanted you to make an appointment because I want it to be all about you while you're here. Like if you walk in and I'm busy doing something else, like I can't put all my time into you. I want to make sure that I can sit down with you and actually give you my time.
That's fair. I think they understand that, that, yeah, sure, you'll do a little bit of, I don't know, you're trying to qualify them exactly what they want and you'll chat with them for 5-10 minutes. And if it's a brand or something that's going to require an hour or maybe even more, you want to have some time to gather some of the blanks maybe that they are looking for and just get some answers, and then schedule a time. I think they totally understand that. So we do the same thing here. But that kind of leads me into a question I had with regards to quoting. And something interesting happened. So John, Logo Daddy, he is only maybe 20 minutes or so from here. And he had a complicated quote come across his desk. And it was from a customer that's out of state. And he called me and said, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing. Of course, I never do anything.
On the treadmill.
On the treadmill. Perfect. Yeah, I'm on the treadmill. And he's like, hey, get over here. Take a look at this stuff. And so I went over, and what I loved were these 2 or 3 things. And then first of all, he has a boardroom, number one. You saw it, Dylan. So he has a room that's large with a giant table, and I guess you could probably fit 8 or 10 people around it. And in the middle, there's this speaker phone with even cameras and stuff like that. But this was just an audio call. And there was about 1, 2, 3, 4. He pulled like 4 people from his team in, and then it was John. We talked about, we looked at all of the proofs of what was about to happen. And I basically all I did was help organize like how I would print this, like, or how I would quote this. Here's group 1, here's group 2, here's group 3, because there was one that was like really complicated. There was one that I think should have been DTF, and there's one that was just really straightforward. I'm like, hey, so quote it differently because they wanted a quick turnaround, right? Some quick turn thing. I'm like, let's find out some more information. And so John got on this call. We were all there and introduced us and everything. And he was like, fantastic, by the way. And I told him afterwards, like, you did a great job. Like, because it's hard, you're in front of a team of your own team and just a bunch of people, and all of a sudden you're chatting with this person and you're trying to hold this whole conversation together and get this quote together. But what I liked about it, I guess, is just that there's multiple people, like the person from the graphics team, because they are going to have some input and some questions. There's me, and there's John, and then there's his head of sales, and there's just a bunch of people getting all the facts, gathering and discovering, exactly what this person wanted, because it's a pretty large order. And I say, cool. I think we have everything. We're going to hang up and we'll shoot you over a quote. And so I just really love that instead of just, because a lot of times you'll get something like that and then you'll just type an email and say, hey, here's my pricing, send it. And then that's it. But instead, talking about hospitality, you are a phone, you're calling somebody.
Like how important do you feel that you're talking to the owner, head of production, fucking a guy who owns another shop 20 minutes away? Yeah. Like you got to feel like you're getting a little bit of special treatment. I guess.
And then I gave him a little bit lower price, and so
right. And you're like, well, call me at this number.
No, but I mean, I thought it was great. I thought, like you said, like you, as a customer, you feel like, hey, like I'm confident this company is going to take care of me, and I don't even care if there's a little bit of a premium. I'll pay it, get it done. It looks great. Customer for life,
But if you go to Windmill City, you go in, you sit down, you have this meeting, and then she has these hotel rooms all set up just like 8, where it's like, hey, stay here 2 nights. you know, take a load off. We'll get your shirts done. You can just pick them up and leave, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
That's what you guys do, right?
Yeah, yeah, in our little
Exactly.
casita.
I wanted to go back to kind of what you were saying about how your life was kind of ran by working at that other place and you were putting a ton of time in whatever. Christina had made a really good point in the notes that she gave us when she had the like pre-interview with you, and she said leaving a corporate job structure to go into a small business, does the small business act like a casual small business, or do they have a similar structure as the corporate, just none of the big budget perks? Now, how do you feel about that? Like, because Windmill seems like really chill, and you guys kind of have like a work-life balance thing figured out. Um, but you did take the structure from the corporate job and put it into Windmill. Do you have to find a balance there between like how serious do we take this and the work-life balance thing, or are you just like, I don't want to live that life and structure, but it did have merit in certain parts of this business?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. And as we've grown, it's definitely become more important to become more structured. But pretty much since day one, from me being at Windmill City, we've implemented structure. I think that it just creates efficiencies within the business, and we do cross training, and people know how to participate in other departments, but for the most part, everybody's role is pretty well defined at our shop. You don't have somebody catching and then also loading shirts the next day. The
Right. They're
people
not like
catching are,
free floating.
yeah. So Glenn and I, both, I've stuck around with Windmill City, and Glenn started Windmill City to create a work-life balance. He was working a lot prior to that, and I worked a lot, and we've been able to start a family by owning our own business and having flexibility. And we've also been able to spend our summers away from the business for the most part physically, for the past few years, since like 2021. So I think we've achieved that. But also, it's really important for us that our employees have work-life balance. And I think in corporate situations that can, be taken advantage of. So we're very cognizant of making sure everybody's, having a working, but also having a good time and not working too much.
And I think that's
But
the reason why I wanted to bring this up though, too, is it's like it made me think the first like 10-ish, 12-ish years here, it was very like, company culture, but it was never thought of as company culture. It was just like what we did. Like we fucking play video games and play basketball and print shirts. And I mean, we were all serious in like what we had to do and get done for the job. But during the day, we would find stuff to do that was like, oh, after we finish printing this job, let's go out and like all get our like threes in basketball. Or and then it'd be like, all right, like after we finish this job, let's play a couple rounds of zombies and Xbox or something. And it's like we kind of had this thing where it was fun to work here, but also it was serious when it was like, hey, we have to get jobs done. And then as the company grew, it got to the point where I was feeling the pressure on and off with the other employees that got hired here to add the structure and be more serious and whatever. And now I'm finding out over the last like 3, 4 years of trying to make everything serious, where it's like, I need to actually step back. I need to go back to that. Like, I feel like I'm constantly bouncing back and forth between making things serious and structured to like take it easy. Like we're a fucking screen printing shop in upstate New York. Like it's not like we're a mega warehouse. It's not like I have to be like super serious all the time. I need to like find this balance between having it be lighthearted and hey, we're a small business community and we're all got each other's backs and whatever, and also being like we do have rules for a reason, and you do have to take this seriously, and there is HR, and there is like, you have to be here at 9 to 5, like, because the more less serious you go, people start, taking advantage of that of like, oh, I'll show up at 10 or I'll leave at 3 and I'll just like kind of free float around and I'll, sip coffee and I'll play around over here. And it's like, it's really hard to find that balance. So that's kind of why I'm asking you is like, how much of that corporate structure do you like to implement where you're like, I really like that this exists, but I also really like that I can take a summer in Japan or something. You know what I mean? Like, where's the
Totally.
happy?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a constant struggle as you grow and as your team evolves and changes from I've heard you mention previously that, you started off all with buddies, but and same with us. Everybody that worked for us, we knew they were a friend of a friend or actual friend. And now it's kind of evolved into people that we may not necessarily have a direct connection with. So you do want to, maintain a level of professionalism, but also, trying to make work fun or have fun things outside of work that everybody can attend. I'm in the process of doing our like holiday party, so I think that's like one way to, have fun, and just have like employee lunches and all of that. I know it's a cliche to feed your employees pizza and whatnot, but it is nice for them to like all sit around together and
Yeah.
connect outside of just their regular lunchtime, and sit next to somebody that you might not normally sit next to and catch up.
It's funny that you say that because like I always did food. Like food was always my go-to, like with the steak night and the grilling and the pizzas and all that sort of stuff. And then there kept being all these memes that were coming out that were like the flex fit guy, where it's like, your employees are about to riot and it's like slaps like a thing on it. It's like pizza party or whatever. And I mean, it makes it like food during the day. That's why we do free snacks and stuff. It's like food at 2 o'clock makes them be like, all right, I can keep working till 5. Like they hit that wall where
Yeah.
they're kind of burnt out for the day. It's nice to have a snack. And Andy used to have the drink day or whatever it
Oh
was.
yeah, it was happy hour. What was hump day happy hour? But so yes, I would say like a week ago or two, I was over in neck labels, and there was like three people. We had a large order we had to retag. There's three people over there, and for some reason we started talking about animal crackers. And when I was a kid, I loved animal crackers. They're basically cookies, and I haven't had them in forever. And so I happened to be at Costco,
They have a
and
big tub.
have you seen? Yeah, it's like I
Yeah.
wish I need to go get it because it's the biggest tub of animal crackers you've ever seen. I don't know, it's like 10 gallons or something. And so I was there and I was like, okay, bought it. And I got back here and then I opened it up and started walking around, and everybody got like a big giant thing of animal crackers. And I don't know. I think that, yeah, I mean, it cost $10. It was nothing, but it was just kind of nice to have, you're at your whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden somebody comes by with an animal cross. And also the fact that I remembered, that we were having that conversation. It was funny. So anyway, I don't think that I don't want to. Yeah, it's a meme that there's a pizza. Buy a pizza for whatever it is, but it actually does matter. I think that I think it's important, but you need to do more. And I actually have a bullet point here. But what do you guys think? Because I just had three conversations about this week, holiday bonuses and different ways that you can give them, not just necessarily cash, maybe in a form of PTO or whatever it is. Well, I mean, what do can you share what you're doing this year?
We haven't formally discussed what we're doing this year, but typically we give everybody a end of year bonus, and then but we do also give bonuses throughout the year, especially when we get through a really large job that's pretty daunting, like I don't know, like 20,000 shirts kind of thing. So we do that, but then also we do an end of the year party, which is kind of like a bonus in itself. In previous years, we've gone to sports games and dinner. This year, we're going to dinner up in the high desert, which is, kind of a field trip for our team. And then we're going to a bar and playing bingo. And it's kind of cool because everybody that's involved is also clients of ours. So our team gets to experience, who they're working for. But yeah, we like to give bonuses, and we also tend to give PTO throughout the year as bonuses. So we don't really look at it as a end of the year thing. It's kind of just a continuous thing, but we do evaluate at the end of the year everybody's wages, and they go up at that point, and their PTO increases.
Andy, we've talked about this, but we both kind of do the same thing as just kind of give everybody that week break between Christmas and New Year's where it's just paid. Like take the week off, everyone gets paid, everyone can recharge. And then this year it's more than a week. It's like I think they're taking like Tuesday to Thursday or something. So
Nice. Yeah, we're doing Thursday through the weekend, and then I guess we'll probably do Monday too, or
but
Tuesday, whatever the New Year is.
yeah, and it's like to Andy too, we talked about this separately, but it was kind of like I love that week. Like I love that I can just tell everyone, hey, it's paid, take the time off. Everyone gets to spend time with family, recharge. Everyone always comes back like ready to start the year with fresh ideas and whatever. But like I love that week off here because I get so much shit done. Like I will work that week just because I want to, but I have like music blaring on the shop stereo and I'm like painting walls, like cleaning floors, like buying new things that we needed to do here. So when they come back, like everything's fresh. You know what I mean? Like I plan on like painting the darkroom floors, like redoing those, and the shipping receiving area. I'm like cleaning and reorganizing and painting walls in there, and all these other like maintenance things that I need to do. It's just nice to have a week to myself. Like no one's asking me for anything. I'm not like in my emails. I'm just like in shit clothes, and I'm like just doing like all the janitorial like shop maintenance things. So it's nice.
Yeah, for us, we had originally there's two paid holidays in there already, Christmas and New Year's Day. And then the Thursday, Friday, we decided just to have two paid days. And then I was going to bonus like a cash amount, right, for everyone. And I did a quick survey. I was like, so hey, here are our options. Would you rather do a bonus cash amount, or would you rather have Monday and Tuesday off also paid? That means you would also have Wednesday off, which is New Year's Day. So it's just like this giant chunk of time off. Or we're going to be slow anyway during that time. And it
Yeah.
was unanimous. Everybody said just paid days off. We'll take it. And it's because, how often do you get like you said, it's over a week basically paid because of all of the holidays and everything else. I mean, it's just
But the thing
that's
is with that is it's not taking away from their PTO. It's not like they have to use their PTO time. I'm just saying
zero
this is
PTO. Yeah.
additional. Right. Like this is
Bonus
added
PTO.
on.
Yeah.
Right.
So we
That's
just
great.
kind of worked out. Super cool. So everybody voted for that, and that's what's happening. And I, though, will not be in here painting any floors and doing any projects.
You're gonna be
But
sitting on your
I
couch
admire.
eating animal crackers,
I'm going to be on the treadmill. I'm going to be on the
picking crumbs out of your
treadmill
belly button.
eating animal crackers on the treadmill. Yeah. So, but there is something we did want to talk about, and that is something that we received here. Dylan also got some samples, and so yeah, you have some tote bags that you're manufacturing, and they are elevated, super nice Gucci like tote bags.
Made of cashmere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
First of all, why even get involved? Like, why make them?
Why make totes?
You know,
We sell a lot of totes to customers. We're in California. Plastic bags are banned. We work in retail. Our niche is retail. So, a lot of our customers are also selling totes or giving away totes. And there are kind of just two categories of totes. They were either cheap or really expensive. So we thought there was a void and we'd fill it. Yeah, we have been we always just have our eyes open for, something else to dabble in, and voids in the market. For a while, we were thinking of hats, but we feel like, that's been covered, and nobody's really doing totes. So we just
how do
thought we
you
would try it out.
how do you go about that? Are you just like, hey, it'd be really sweet if we made totes? Like, is there a lot of R&D involved? Because your guys' tote bags aren't necessarily just like basic tote bags. Like, I love the drawstring tote bag. Like, the thing's awesome. Like, Andy is
Yeah.
apparently going to get it. But as soon as I
Okay.
got them, like I get sent stuff all the time from other companies. And I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
But with your guys, I was like immediately like, yeah, put them in the showroom, like show some of our customers who like tote bags. Like they're really nice. Like I'm not just trying to say that because we're friends. I'm trying to say like there are really nice tote bags.
Thank you.
How did you go about just being like, oh, I want it to be like this specifically?
Yeah, so we do have quite a bit of experience doing custom cut and sew overseas with hats. primarily for our own clients. And the totes, we had just been thinking about it for a while, and we definitely took ideas or were influenced by other tote bags we've seen around. But then we made them to the specifications that we wanted them to be. Not too big, not too small. A little bit of a longer strap to go over your shoulder so it's not in your armpit. And just smaller details like what our carrier tote has a pocket on the interior, but it can also flap open. So when you're printing, it's flush.
Andy, will you hold that tote bag so I can take a screenshot and then run it through that program I was talking about earlier, so I'll get a sexier model to model it around?
This is the pocket that she was just talking about. So there's a pocket.
Yeah, it'll fit your phone and your
awesome.
wallet.
Yeah, so it's not like your phone and your wallet is rattling around in the bottom of your bag with a bunch of other stuff.
And you're
separate.
You're just searching for it like a Mary Poppins bag. Yeah, but we made them a lighter weight canvas that was still durable. And then also didn't have all those fibers that you often get on the cheaper tote.
For those listening, Andy is modeling these perfectly. It's like
so there's the drawstring.
The drawstring one is awesome. I love it so much.
Yeah, and that particular tote, Glenn and I walked over, I don't know, it was like 80 miles or something over the course of 10 days in Japan and Korea, and that was his daily driver. So we know that they're durable.
Yeah. The nice thing about that one too is it's like I immediately thought of like the beach or something. Like you're taking your stuff, you could drawstring it up so you don't lay it down and stuff just falls in the sand and is gone for forever. It's kind of like, oh, you can cinch it shut and everything's in there, and you don't have to worry about people peeking their hands in either if you're traveling and on a train or whatever you're doing.
Yeah. So essentially we just wanted to create an offering that was unique but cost effective enough to make it affordable for a lot of different people for a variety of uses, whether it's giveaways or for retail.
Are you guys implementing these immediately into your retail? Like, are they printed now and they're all branded up for you guys and people are liking them? Or how is it going as far as like it becoming an item?
We're having like so much positive feedback. It's been really great. We've been, sorry, my dog.
Even your dog likes it.
Yeah, he wanted to chime in.
Yeah, our clients from the print shop have been eating them up, and we've just started trickling them into our actual retail store, and so far so good.
Awesome.
I like that they are very printable. Sometimes you get these canvas totes in and it's really rough and you have some sort of, detail that you're trying to put on there. Forget it. But these are pretty smooth, both of them.
Also, they're not polyester straps either that melt in the dryer.
No, 100% cotton. And one of the bags has double enforced stitching. So yeah, they're going to stand the test of time.
So now are you guys, I haven't looked into this too much, but are you guys like offering this as like almost a separate company, or is it just like you order them through Windmill? Like how do you get these?
No, so it is a separate company. It's called Springs MFG and or Springs Manufacturing. And you can order them through our website, springsmfg.co, or you can email us. And you can also order them through Fair, which is like an online wholesale marketplace for retail.
Are you going to try to keep it that way, or is the goal to like push this and eventually get to the point where you're like trying to get them in like S&S or something?
We're just going to see where it takes us.
Right.
But yeah, if it grew to be that large, that would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, buddies of ours like Relentless, they did kind of a similar thing with hats where they were like, oh, we sell a lot of hats, but there's a lot that like we can't get. And I think there was a whole thing with like COVID where Richardsons were like super hard to get a hold of, which is funny because their last name is Richardson too. So it's like the Richardsons now are making hats as well. But now it's gotten to a point where it's really taking off and they're like going to trade shows and like selling hats. It's not like they just had hats because they wanted them for their business. Now it's like they have They have a full on hat company.
Yeah, Matt and Nate have been a great resource and sounding board for us. So yeah, we're definitely like following how the growth of their business goes, and they're happy to share with us takeaways. So that's been really nice.
That's
It's great
awesome.
how the industry is just so friendly to one another and people are willing to share.
Yeah. Andy?
Over unders?
Sure.
Okay, today we have three as usual. I have three things. You just let me know if you think they're overrated, underrated, or properly rated. The first one is holiday work parties.
Well, we just heard how awesome Ashley's was going to be. So
I would say they're underrated. I've always had so much fun at holiday work parties. I'm not even much of a like social person with people at work, but I love holiday work parties and getting to meet everybody's partners and seeing people in a less formal setting, even if your work environment isn't that formal to begin with. But I feel like, a different personality tends to come out when people are in a different situation on a different property or whatnot.
or alcohol's involved.
Yeah, or alcohol's involved.
I actually just reached out to a place that I really like food wise. I guess, another small business that does like barbecue and stuff yesterday. And I was like, hey, how are you feeling about catering this year? So I'm going to try to put something together, hopefully, here in the next week or two.
Yeah, I think
I'm sure
that
everybody.
I'm going with properly rated. And this year, I thought it was interesting. I've been out of shop a lot, and Kyle put it together. And so he was like, hey, what date works? We have a few choices. And then they voted and they picked a date, picked a place, and there's a
Is
holiday
it
work party
Kyle? Is
happening.
it Kyle's garage where he's making
That would
garage
be
brew
that would be
and
sick, but
just
no, no. He actually
smoking
has
meat?
room in there too. But nope, nope. It's not at. It's at I don't know. I can't remember the name of the place, but I'm gonna go
Chuck E.
because
Cheese?
yeah, it sounds fun. All right, number two, candles.
Properly rated. We
Do you
sell
guys
them.
sell a lot of candles? I was going to say.
We do. Yeah. Yeah. But I only like candles that have like natural fragrances. The artificial fragrances give me like terrible headaches. And as soon
Yes.
as I walk into a room with them, I'm just like, oh my God, I need to leave
Hmm.
or open a window or something. But yeah, candles kill it for us. I love them.
I get a massage pretty regularly, and the lady who does the Stephanie who does my massages and stuff always talks to me about like uh the essential oils and all this other stuff that she's using and whatever. And I got in a conversation with her, and I have an apartment now, but I kind of always bought like these, like you're saying, like artificial whatever, but they were like the plugins for just making my
No.
apartment smell whatever. And she was like, those are like carcinogen, like you need to get rid of those immediately and like all this other stuff. And I was like, oh fuck. So I went and bought like all these like reed diffusers with like, yeah, like essential oils and like whatever, and I just have them like all over my apartment now. And so I'm learning that like not to buy the generic smelly stuff.
Okay. Well, I was going less for the fragrance and more for the ambiance.
Oh, okay.
Or so, and that's fine because I think it plays into it because I agree with you. I don't like very powerful, unnatural candle, fragrances. For me, a
I
candle.
never I never like candles for the mood, if that's what you're going for.
Oh, well, I do. So that's the only reason why I'm lighting a candle. It's not for any sort of fragrance because, and it's only at dinner. So like
Rose petals on the ground.
it's very romantic by myself. And so I like to have, so I make dinner. And before I start, I light a candle and it's right where I'm gonna have
I
my place setting. And this
I'm
is
gonna
Dylan, don't make fun
FaceTime
of this.
you.
This is real. This is real and it
I know it's real.
matters
That's why I'm making fun of
because
it.
it's something that I used to do, but I continue to do it because it elevates my mood. It makes me feel good. And it provides the right ambiance for this delicious, high protein meal I'm
Chicken
about to
skewers.
to consume. That's right. And so,
I hope
yeah,
I
I
call.
think
I'm gonna FaceTime you later, and you're gonna be eating
um,
animal crackers and chicken skewers on your couch by candlelight.
I mean, there's what's wrong with that? Nothing. And so I think they are extremely underrated. And if you doubt me, I challenge you to go just buy a candle, light it before dinner, and then enjoy. And you can thank me later because it's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
So underrated.
Okay. Sorry.
Final over under, and it's
Me and Ashley were all about the smells, and you were like, no, the lighting.
well, I mean, the candle does provide light. I think that's its main function, and I think it's been
I mean, yeah.
ruined
I
by
literally only have
fragrances.
candles for when the power goes out.
Mhm.
So I have light around my apartment.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's
But now
more
it's the
reason,
romantic time.
to get to stock up on
Okay.
candles. Okay, number 3.
All right.
Saying thank you.
I guess underrated. Like people need to say. I think thanks can go a long way. I make sure that we say thank you, or I say thank you uh, whenever possible to make sure that people feel appreciated, and I think it goes a long way in business as well.
I think super underrated. I'm that guy that like on a hiking trail or just around like say like even at a grocery store, like saying excuse me when you pass somebody in like with the grocery cart, like I say that shit out loud. I never hear that anymore from anybody. Like it's always like heads down, like just doing their thing, and it's almost like they look away from you. Like, dude, I'm another human being miles out in the woods on a trail, and you like looked in the other direction and just passed me. It's like, just say hello or like, how's your day or whatever, and just keep going. Like, don't stop and have a conversation with me, but like, just say hello, thank you, excuse me. Like, so much of that is not a thing anymore, and it's really annoying. Like, it almost angers me when I say hi to somebody and they just ignore and keep walking.
Yeah,
I feel ya.
I feel that for sure, and I am also an underrated, and I've started doing this a little bit, and not just thank you when the whatever thing happens, like when we're face to face, and oh thank you or whatever, but also later, and so that's sort of what I was. That's where I think it's underrated is that I last night I sent somebody a thank you because for the past couple of months, they've helped me a lot. And I think I know I've said thank you in the moment to them, but I wanted to make this one a little bit different. And it wasn't like too heavy in like this giant paragraph or anything, but it was just a little thank you that sort of summed up what they kind of how they've been for me. And they they actually cried, like it meant that much. And so I think I think it's important. I think the world would be a better place if we acknowledged when people did stuff for us and we actually said thank you. Yeah, it would be a better world. We should do it more. So underrated.
I do like stuff like that, and I like reminders to like reach out to somebody. Or somebody said to me a little while ago, where when somebody pops into your head that's random, like you're doing something and they pop into your head, like you should stop for a second and like text them or
Yeah.
call them
Yeah.
and be
I
like,
do
"Hey, I was
that.
thinking of you." You know what I mean? Like I do that
Yeah.
all the time where I think of somebody and like before I would have just been like, "Oh yeah, I remember that," and like just forget about it instantly and like keep moving on. But like it's awesome when you like think of all the times when other people think about you in life.
Right.
How
Right.
awesome it would be if they just reached out to you and was like, "Hey, I was just in the mall and I thought of you," or "I saw this funny thing and I thought of you." It's kind of like sharing memes basically, but just in real life. Like I was on the trail the other day and I thought of my sister and I like ended up having like like a 45-minute text conversation with my sister, which I don't do all the time. But I was just like, "Hey, I was just thinking of you. Like, how are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, all these other things." So I like that. We should all say thank you more, and we should say things to each other that are meaningful because we never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautifully put, Dylan.
Ashley, I do want to ask you just because of your expertise and whatever. Like normally we would say shop hacks, but like coming from the career that you had before and coming into a screen printing shop and whatever, what would you say is some almost like a shop hack or like an advice or something as far as like getting your shit organized and how it transformed like numbers and productivity and Windmill? Like, is there anything you would say like we do this and it made things way better? Just getting organized, or is there any specific tools or?
I think the best tool that we implemented was Printavo, to be honest. Just having like a system. It doesn't even have to be Printavo, but just like somewhere where you can organize all of your information, we store a lot of client information in there as well under the production note sides of things. But yeah, you could use Monday, whatnot. I think if people are just, storing it on documents, that won't really work. You need a centralized platform. And without that, I can't imagine our business being as streamlined as it is. Just making things, accessible by all parties in all departments, and being able to understand what's going on without actually having to talk to people. You can only store so much up here. It's better to have it written down, I think, in my opinion.
As much SOPs as possible.
Yeah.
Do you keep all of those in one centralized place too?
Yes, we just have them like on a Google Drive.
Okay.
By department. Mm-hmm. And we have them printed out as well.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Andy, do you want to hit her with the
what's for dinner?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure, let's do it. Yeah, what's for dinner?
I think I'm having tacos. I'm going out with some friends for dinner, so that's what I've been eyeing on the menu tonight.
Are they like really good street tacos, or is it just like a Mexican restaurant in general?
No, it's actually not even a Mexican restaurant. it's like a divey bar restaurant. Yeah.
Some of the best
Those are always
tacos I've had were next door to your retail store at a brewery. And it was a pop-up. It wasn't their kitchen. I don't even think they have a kitchen. It was a pop-up that was in the back, and it was taco night. And it was the kind of taco that it's a taco, but then they cook it too. Like they make the taco and then they cook it.
Mm-hmm.
What does cook it mean?
Like grill it maybe or something. Is that what they do? I want to say.
Like a panini? But for a taco?
I think yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know awesome. I don't know what the terminology.
More like a quesadilla or something, but it was a taco. Yeah. But then they quesadilla did it.
I think
we're just describing a quesadilla this whole time. It's like a big taco, but you cook it.
I think Andy had the quesadilla tacos. Yeah, so they put cheese on the taco shell. Or tortilla. And then they grill that, and then they put the meat and condiments inside.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, Ashley, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate you a lot. Thanks
for having me.
Thanks for the tote bag treats. They really are awesome. If you're listening to this, just go to that. What was the website again? Just for everyone.
SpringsMFG.co.
Okay. Go check them out. Order some bags. I hope Windmill City is doing awesome. I hope Glenn's doing awesome. We didn't even ask about Glenn this entire time. What the hell?
Poor Glenn.
What's he doing?
He's doing great. He's been riding his bike a lot.
Yeah. We were talking about bikes for a while, but now I'm in winter, and I'm not going to think about bikes until spring. But I'll hit him up then.
Does he ride his bike at like 5 a.m?
He does. Yeah, that's how he gets his miles in.
Okay, so that because I texted him and last night, and it was kind of late, and then I get this text, and it was really early here, and that means it was 2 hours earlier there, and I think it was like at 5 o'clock or something in the morning.
Yeah,
like, what's he doing up?
Our wonderful son was awake at 5 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Ready to start the day, but also Glenn was getting ready to go on a bike ride.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Well, enjoy your Friday. Have a good weekend, and hope you guys have a good holiday.
Likewise. Bye, guys.
See you later.